Shifting focus now to news coming in, where Air India will be refunding the fare of everyone who was on board the AI 173 flight, which was to travel from Delhi to San Francisco but was diverted to Russia due to a technical snag. We're now learning that Air India is going to be providing all the 216 passengers with a travel voucher for the future. Remember, an alternative flight was arranged for by Air India after much delay. That flight has also landed in San Francisco, now is what we're learning. Ridhima, my colleague, getting us more details of what's transpiring in this particular case. Yes, Ridhima.
As you rightly pointed out, the flight, which after a delay of over 24 hours landed in San Francisco a short while ago, there is now an updated statement that has been issued by the airline. One, it starts by apologizing to all the passengers and their families for this unexpected delay. As you rightly pointed out, there was an engine snag and a technical delay which led to the flight being diverted to Russia and also landing in challenging times. Now, airline first says that we apologize for this delay, but what is important is they've gone one step ahead. They've also now issued a statement saying that we in fact will be refunding the entire amount to all 216 passengers who were on board. The airline will also be giving them a travel voucher which they can use in the future. What the statement further also says, remember, a lot of passengers had contested the claims that had been made by the airline that these passengers have not been accommodated in hotels. So the statement by Air India also says that yes, of course, the accommodation was not up to your standard, but you need to understand that these were challenging times. We landed in a very small town, a village. We did not have the infrastructure to accommodate 200 plus passengers and the crew. But the airline setting good standards and a big relief for the passengers who've gone through this entire ordeal over the last 48 hours, saying that we thank you for our support, and as a token of thank you and apology as well, we're going to refund the entire amount and a travel voucher which can now be used for future travel as well.
Now, the travel voucher has been given as a measure of good faith by the airline, but is it something that would help with the image as well? Because right after the flight was diverted, Air India kept saying that they would make alternative arrangements, but it took well over 24 hours for that alternative arrangement to be made. And that had clearly angered the passengers who were stranded at that airport in Russia, which is perhaps in the back of the beyond.
Absolutely, Poonam. But as I pointed out, as more details emerged of what the landing situation actually looked like, it's also important to understand that these were very, very challenging times. The weather conditions were great. There were a lot of back and forth in terms of the documentation that needed to happen as well, which of course resulted in not the best standards as far as an accommodation or other updates are concerned. But I've spoken to a lot of family members of passengers who were on this flight, and they of course have gone on to say that the airline, once everything got settled, did the maximum that they could. Even in certain cases, I'm understanding there were senior citizens above the age of 60. They were given medical checkups as well, as they complained of not having their medicines and others on board. So the airline did try to put all the efforts, and that's what the airline says. It must have not been up to your standard, but this is the best we could have done. As you spoke about the image, and that is why I'm saying that this is actually going to set a good precedent, that they're not only apologizing, but they're going one step forward, saying we cannot change the last 48 hours for you. What we can do is refund this amount so you continue to have faith in us and travel with us in the future.
A measure of good faith there by Air India. For the moment, Ridhima, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that.